What is up, guys? Vault Hunter Cacus here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today we're doing something a little different. We're covering Borderlands 3, specifically some really awesome information about its endgame. And frankly, the Borderlands 3 endgame is looking real good. Like, honestly, way better than vanilla Destiny 2. Even better than vanilla Destiny 2, plus a couple of expansions. You know the one I'm thinking of. Curse of Osiris. Anyways, it's a little unfair to compare them now because Destiny has so many expansions and the endgame is so significant, but for a vanilla game, Borderlands 3 is looking good, and this was actually very important because it's been, like 7-8 years since Borderlands 2? I'm sure a lot of you guys who got into Destiny were originally playing Borderlands back in the day. Looter shooter, once you get that in your veins, it stays there. But if Borderlands 2 was to come out this day and age, 7-8 years later, and just have, replay the campaign 3 times, oh, and by the way, there's one raid boss, I don't think it would be received very well. So they really had to step up their endgame, and it looks like they did. Now, right off the bat, we got some information involving Guardian rank. By the way, this information is coming from an official Gearbox article detailing some of the things they revealed at the PAX event. So what is Guardian rank? Well, essentially it's a reworked and improved badass ranking that was present in Borderlands 2. Essentially, when you beat the campaign, it unlocks your Guardian rank. And then once you start to rank up your Guardian rank, which you do just by playing the game, getting XP, you then get to pick a stat you want to increase. You're going to have the choice of 2 different stats for each of the 3 different trees: Enforcer, Survivor, or Hunter. So we can see here what those different stats actually are. Enforcer, you might get to level up critical damage and then gunfire rate. And then Survivor, it might be fight for your life movement speed and shield recharge delay. Hunter, accuracy, and recoil reduction. So all those options are going to pop up. You pick whatever one you want the most. So critical damage for the Enforcer, let's say, and it levels it up by a small amount. The next time you level up, it's going to be 2 different random stats. So instead of critical damage, it might be vehicle damage. Stuff like that. That's how it's going to work. And that's very similar to the badass ranking. So you're eking out these slight advantages. The more you play, the more and more critical damage and gun damage, etc. you're going to get, and the more powerful your character is going to become. But that's actually not it. The big twist with the Guardian rank is that leveling up those different trees will have additional advantages. So if you keep leveling up stats in Enforcer, for example, you're going to get bonuses at level 10, 15, 25, 35, 50, and 75. One of the examples they give is that if you get your Enforcer tree to the 2nd tier, so level it up 15 times, pick 15 of its stats, you're actually going to get additional gun damage to all shots while you're in fight for your life. That's pretty darn good. And the 2nd tree for the Survivor is that it makes you recover from fight for your life with full health and shields. That's really good too. Moving on from there, they also talked about true Vault Hunter mode. Of course, that is coming back just like how it worked within the older Borderlands games. Once you beat the game, you can play it again. Enemies are harder, they drop better loot, you can keep ascending levels. But something new coming in Borderlands 3 is Mayhem mode. Now, what this is upon completing the story campaign, you'll activate a mysterious terminal pictured here aboard Sanctuary that can enable 3 different Mayhem levels: Mayhem 1, Mayhem 2, or Mayhem 3. And as you can see here, the Mayhem modes are going to make enemies more powerful, harder to kill. For example, bulletproof enemies take 15% less damage from normal bullets and attacks, but the benefit of putting on Mayhem mode is that, well, for here, Mayhem 1, loot quality increased by 200%. You get more experience, iridium, and cash, 200% more. So if you're grinding the best drops out there, you gotta flip on Mayhem mode. Now, they did say that, once you beat the campaign and you have access to Mayhem mode, if you throw it on Mayhem 3, that's just a death sentence. Like, you're just gonna get destroyed. You definitely want your build to be good enough to handle the higher Mayhem modes. However, not only is the loot quality increased, but the actual variety of loot is increased as well, because in Mayhem modes specifically, enemies can drop anointed gear, shown here. Now this is special gear, special weapons and things that have bonuses based around your action skill, which is essentially your super in Borderlands 3. So the example shown here of this assault rifle is on action skill end, the next 2 magazines will have 50% additional bonus corrosive damage. So if you have like an action skill build, you're using it all the time, if you're playing a character that has like a one and done action skill that recharges very fast, that would be a super synergistic weapon to use with it, because it's ending all the time. You're getting this big damage bonus with the 50% additional corrosive damage. So having this unique weapon rarity, this unique weapon type within Mayhem mode is definitely going to give it a lot of play and absolutely give players a reason to hop into the Mayhem, I guess you could say. Now, when you're in this Mayhem mode, something interesting to note is that when you go to the different planets of Borderlands 3, different random modifiers are going to be enabled. So, for example, you might get a Mayhem mod like Savage, where all enemies deal more weapon damage, or a different Mayhem mode called You're a Wizard, which reduces the damage players do with normal bullets, but increases their elemental damage by the same amount. And that very much seems like the daily modifiers we get in Destiny, and that does vary up gameplay. Like, obviously, if you get that You're a Wizard buff or random Mayhem mod, I should say, you're going to play quite a bit differently than you otherwise would. You're going to be throwing on all your elemental gear, you're going to be trying to use this stuff with the most elemental damage, all of that stuff. So that's actually a pretty interesting thing as well. Now also, at Gamescom, Gearbox talked about another endgame activity coming with Borderlands 3. It's a riff on the Circle of Slaughter type things that we did see in Borderlands 2. By the way, you will still find Circle of Slaughter arenas sponsored by the combustion-obsessed weapons manufacturer Torg scattered throughout the campaign. So you'll be able to go in there, kill some enemies in different rounds, and earn some loot. But those activities were never really scaled towards the end game too much in the older Borderlands games, but they are with Borderlands 3. So later in the campaign, you may be worthy of taking part in the Proving Grounds. These are themed gauntlets watched over by a guardian known as the Overseer, who wishes to test your mettle on behalf of the mysterious masters. Proving Grounds are races against the clock, tasking you with blitzing through 3 arenas filled with baddies and beating a boss in 30 minutes or less. If you complete your chosen trial quickly and efficiently, you'll earn better bounties, and for even greater rewards, you can complete bonus objectives like beating the Proving Grounds without dying, completing it with a certain amount of time remaining, or managing to find and eliminate an elusive fallen guardian who roams the area. The chest that awaits at the end of the Proving Grounds always contains valuable loot, but you'll need to display true mastery if you want the best rewards. So that's kind of cool. It sounds almost like a kind of Forge style or Horde mode style activity with a timer mechanic involved as well, and that is great. Another endgame activity aside from just killing raid bosses. But moving on from there, something we did find out with Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 is that players have basically an insatiable thirst for content. We're always looking for more content. And although that stuff all sounds great, modifiers, endgame builds, all that stuff sounds fantastic, is there going to be more content constantly hitting Borderlands 3? That's been one of the best parts about Destiny, is that there's like always something to do. Well, actually, it seems like there is. Gearbox released this image here, which showcases some of those events coming to Borderlands 3. So first off, we have the Bloody Harvest event. This will likely launch right around Halloween. We have a free content update, spooky activities, and unique event rewards. that sounds pretty similar to, honestly, like the Festival of the Lost from Destiny, just a kind of a casual event. But then we have the Maliwan Takedown, which sounds more substantial. A free content update, an all-new map, challenging new enemies, take down an all-new boss, and earn powerful rewards. That seems actually really cool. So the earn powerful rewards, likely there's going to be more weapons introduced, potentially more legendary weapons, etc. introduced into the game with that event. A new map is always sweet, a new area to explore. And then finally, we have that DLC 1 included with the Season's Pass, a new campaign add-on, and of course more details to be announced soon. We do see that it's the fall/winter content calendar, so we can expect that DLC 1 to be coming sometime within winter. Hopefully not at the same time as the next Destiny season, because oh my goodness, I want to play both these games and cover both these games properly, and please don't make that impossible, Gearbox/Bungie. Anyways, that's looking great as well. Maliwan Takedown looking more substantial, like seems pretty sweet. And if Borderlands can be constantly hitting us with these free, unique events, get the community involved, have some new exclusive event loot, that will absolutely energize the community and the end game. It gives you something to do once you've done everything, because it's new things. So that's looking quite good. Very much looking forward to Borderlands 3. One of my worries was about the end game, but this is definitely looking pretty good, and I'll keep you guys informed of anything else substantial that you want to know about for this game. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, found it informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Borderlands 3 content, be sure to slap that subscribe button. And if you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.